Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Roshan Povaiya, Editor, Financial Express Digital. Ms. Marcia Pau, Joint Secretary in Ministry of MSME, Government of India. Distinguished guests. First of all, let me wish the ladies who are present here a very happy Women's Day. So, India is an aspirational country. As we all know, India aspires to become a 5 trillion economy in the near future. And the aspirations of Indian economy, we feel in Ministry of MSME that we are a part of it. We are a part of the aspirations of India because the MSME sector contributes about 30% to the national GDP. We contribute about 36 to 40% to the manufacturing output and around 45% to the exports. MSME sector is also the second largest employer after agriculture in India. It is estimated, as per the Udyam registration data that we have, more than 70 crore people are engaged in the MSME sector. And when we speak of MSME sector and the Indian economy, it is not merely these statistics that are important. The important part, we believe, is the underlying dynamics and the potential that this sector has. If we look at a few years ago when the pandemic was there, so every economy across the world, they took a hit. Indian economy also took a hit. We were growing at a rate of around 6% before the pandemic was there. During pandemic, there was a negative growth. But the resilience of the Indian economy is a point to be noted because in a year's time, we saw the Indian economy turning back, and today we are aspiring to grow at 7% or maybe even more. We feel proud in Ministry of MSME to be a part of this resilience. We believe that the resilience of the Indian economy is the contribution of MSME sector is one of the underlying pillars of the resilience of the Indian economy. When we make international comparisons, we find that the economic growth rate, if we take an average of 10 years, say from 2012 till 2022, and we take an average annual growth rate, the US economy, it grew at a rate of 2%. The UK's economy grew at a rate of 1.6%. German economy grew at a rate of 1.1%. The French economy grew at a rate of around 1%. And the Japanese economy grew at a rate of 0.7%. South Korea's economy grew at around 2.6 or 2.5. Indian economy in this period of 10 years, we have posted a stable and a constant growth rate of around 5.6%. So that is the strength of the Indian economy. India, when we say that India is aspiring to become a Viksit Bharat, which Roshan mentioned. So this concept of Viksit Bharat or this aspiration of India to be a part of the committee of nations who are quote unquote called the advanced economies or developed economies, it is not only aspirational. I think this is something which is due to the Indian economy. This is something that Indian economy will achieve. And we say so because it is the young generation, it is the economic actors in the Indian economy, it is the inherent and the coherent strength of the Indian economy that is going to unleash itself. When we were in schools and colleges, when people used to speak about the population of India being a fairly largely populated country. And in the schools and colleges, we were taught about the demographic burden. So I believe many of you would also have learned that concept that the population of India is a burden. So that was the concept, the demographic burden. But I think over a period of time in India, we have taken steps in the right direction, be it education, be it investment in technology, be it investment in technical resources, the emergence of the services sector, the broadening and strengthening of the manufacturing, and especially the IT sector, which Roshan was mentioning. So now we no longer talk about India and we having a demographic burden. We in fact now talk about the demographic dividend. So this is something which has really, made a transition for the Indian economy. The population of the Indian economy, earlier getting perceived as a burden, now which is perceived as an asset. And it is the productivity of the Indian ecosystem. It is the investment into human resources. It is our investment into our youth, which is, which has borne these fruits. We are now reaping those results, and we firmly believe that India is a young economy, and the youth, the women of India, they are going to be the torch bearers. There used to be a time when Indian students from premier educational institutions would, after completing their studies, would go abroad, and then they would take up and pick up jobs there. They're still doing it, but we see a large number of them coming back. We see a large number of students going abroad, finishing their degrees and coming back and setting up startups, setting up enterprises. So things are changing. So these are, the winds of reversal, I would say, and reversal for giving a head start to the Indian economy. And in times to come, I think we will see the fruits of it. Till a few years ago, if we speak of 2014, the Indian economy was ranked among the top 10 economies. We were at number 9. Today, India is globally ranked at number 5. We are the fifth largest economy in the world, and very soon we will be overtaking two other countries to become the third largest economy of the world. This is something which is giving us a proof of the fact that the investment into human resources, the investment into right sectors, and the policy initiatives that has been taken by the government, and an active and a participatory role of the private sector, has put India on a very, very firm footing. If we speak about the MSME sector, let me just share a few thoughts on the underlying potential of what exists in the Indian economy. So we speak about MSME registration, we speak about the formalization gap, and we speak about the focus that the Ministry of MSME has on formalizing the micro, small, and medium enterprises and formally getting them onboarded onto our ecosystem. So if we look at the Udyam registrations figures of March last year, the total number of MSMEs who were formally registered with us was around 1.5 crores. And in a span of less than 1 year, that number it has risen to 2.4 crores. So from 1.5 crores registration in March last year, it has risen to more than 2.4 crores presently, which is a growth of more than 60% in 1 year. Similarly, last year we started registering the informal micro enterprises. Those enterprises, very small and tiny enterprises, who mostly in the informal sector, who do not have a PAN number. So we allowed registration, and we created a separate Udyam Assist portal for them. So this was started last year, and in a span of 1 year, we have around 1.5 crores additional enterprises who have onboarded onto our system. And this is the growth of the MSME sector in terms of, making fast strides. Very recently, the ministry also ventured into a new area. Up till now, we have only been hand holding the registered enterprises. Once an enterprise is incorporated, only then the benefits which are which are provided by the ministry are due to them. But very recently, we took a stride and we started this new scheme, PM Vishwakarma. This was inspired by the Prime Minister's vision, and it was rolled out on 17th of September last year. So when this scheme was launched, this scheme was launched for the traditional artisans and craftspeople. So traditional artisans and craftspeople, most of them, they are not established enterprises. They are basically entrepreneurs, traditional entrepreneurs. So in the ministry, we thought that let us handhold the existing entrepreneurs who are not yet, incorporated enterprises, and handhold them from making a transition from being an entrepreneur to an enterprise. So this is what we intend to do under PM Vishwakarma, and our motto is also, if I have to summarize it, it is Samman, Samarthya, and Samriddhi, basically to recognize the efforts of the artisans and craft people, to provide them with to empower them with greater access to finances. And yes, the final outcome that we expect is that they will be a part in the prosperity of the nation, and they will also participate they will contribute towards the nation building, which they are already doing, but in an enhanced way. So when this scheme was launched, the expectation was that in 5 years we will cover 30 lakh people. And now, in a span of around 5 months, the total number of people who have onboarded onto PM Vishwakarma, the number is more than 1.3 crores. So that is the underlying potential of the Indian economy. It is not only the size or the vastness of Indian economy, it is actually the opportunities which exist. And once we open up doors for these opportunities to emerge, so there is always a scope for further build on. The Ministry of MSME believes that the challenges that the MSME sector faces are actually opportunities that will help us in getting the participation of the MSMEs towards nation building for tomorrow, which is the today's theme also. So I'm really glad that today's theme that has been organized is on the opportunities that are there in the MSME sector. But before we come to the opportunities, let us come to the challenges that the MSME sector faces. So I've already talked about the formalization gap and the efforts that we are making to address it. The second largest challenge before the MSME sector is the access to finance and credit. We have recognized that for MSMEs to grow, access to affordable finance and credit is a must. And in order to ensure that the MSMEs receive affordable finance, there are several initiatives that we have taken. First of all, there is a organization which works with us. It is called Credit Guarantee Trust for Micro and Small Enterprises. So CGTMSE was incorporated in the year 2000, and its mandate is basically to provide credit guarantees to the banks who give lending to the micro and small enterprises. So basically, the credit guarantee coverage provided by CGTMSE increases the banking appetite for lending to the micro and small enterprises, because in case of any default, almost 75% to 85% of the loans that are provided by the banks are repaid by the CGTMSE. So it is like a guarantee coverage which ensures that if you lend, you will get your money back. And from 2000 till 2022, the corpus of CGTMSE was 7,500 crores. Last year, there has been an additional corpus infusion of the tune of 9,000 crores into CGTMSE, which has helped CGTMSE in expanding their guarantee coverage and extending higher guarantee coverage. Now the limit has been increased from 2 crores to 5 crores, and the cost of guarantee coverage also has been reduced from 2% to now about 0.5%, and for the lowest slab it is like 0.375%. And there are huge impact that we are seeing. CGTMSE extended credit guarantees between 2000 till 2022 to about valuing about 3 lakh crores. In the last financial year alone, that number was more than 1 lakh crores of guarantees extended. And in this current financial year, the amount of credit guarantees extended by CGTMSE alone would be more than 1.55 lakh crores. So these are some of the steps that we are taking, and they are giving us good results. The point I'm trying to make is that in the ministry we believe that challenges can be translated into opportunities. And if we address the challenges right, if we take the right policy initiatives, and if we do the correct implementation, there should be no reason that these challenges would ultimately be converted into opportunities. And we believe that India and the concept of or the aspiration of making India as a Viksit Bharat is something where all of us have to participate and contribute. It is for the larger corporates to contribute towards the aspiration of Viksit Bharat. It is for the micro, small, and medium enterprises to contribute for the aspirations towards a Viksit Bharat. It is not only the enterprises, it is the farmers who are working in the field, maybe a shopkeeper who is working somewhere, a shoe mender or a cobbler who's working maybe in the informal sector, a rickshaw puller, anybody who is working and contributing to the Indian economy. We all cumulatively and collectively will be responsible for India's journey towards a Viksit Bharat. And I'm sure all of us, and especially the young generation, the younger entrepreneurs, their contribution in making India a Viksit Bharat would actually be unleashing a growth trajectory which is more than what we are expecting or what the international organizations sometimes expect. So with this, I would once again like to thank the Financial Express team for inviting us here, and would like to thank all of you who have joined here for this very important topic on the opportunities for the MSMEs. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.